for joining us for another edition of the Chapter's Health System Q&A. We've got a special Memorial Day edition this week, and our guest is Good Shepherd Hospice bereavement supervisor, Suzy Soliday. And Suzy, the reason I wanted to talk with you this week is that Memorial Day, obviously, it's a day to remember your loved ones that may have served and paid the ultimate sacrifice, but things are a little different and maybe a little more challenging this year due to COVID-19.
Yes, they are, Pat. Thank you. I think those things that many people associate with Memorial Day we're limited more because of the COVID-19 situation. So there's no parades to honor our fallen military. There aren't public gatherings at cemeteries either. I know our national cemeteries, to the best of my understanding, remain closed right now. And so that would be another restriction for people not to be able to honor their loved ones.
So how important is that connection that you might feel, when you're gathering with your family and trying to remember, and pay tribute to someone you might have lost in the service?
I think it's very important, Pat, and I think that many people, kind of like what we're doing now, are using our electronic resources to connect. And so I think that there are some things that families can do and groups can do to be able to honor their fallen person at this time. And, like Zoom, like what we're doing now, would be a great way for families to get together and say, hey, let's talk about grandpa who served in the military and lost his life, or let's talk about those people who are maybe still serving or served proudly and did make it home. It's very important. Even, some of our folks who maybe are military themselves and spent time at the VFW or the American Legion, those gathering places aren't available either. But we're hoping that people are being able to chat with each other, over the phone or through FaceTime and things like that also. And there's also things that people can do at home, just themselves. Many of us are working from home or spending more of our time at home with the stay-at-home order and everything. And so there's many things that people can do at home to honor this holiday and honor their loved ones.
And you mentioned that people, are spending more time at home. What are some other alternatives they can do to pay tribute from their homes?
It's a great question, Pat. And, I think we can be as creative as we want to be. It doesn't have to be anything gigantic. We might wear red, white, and blue that day. And that's a way to just show our support. We could have a flag in our yard. Many of our hospice houses have, flags up outside, which is just beautiful. You drive by, you know exactly what that's all about. Even getting mementos out. If you've got pictures of your military family members, look through those. Take a trip down memory lane. Perhaps do something to honor them, such as having a meal in their honor or a beverage that they might like, listening to music that they liked, even using what you have at home as far as, there's great ways to connect to military cemeteries. There's a lot of virtual tours you can take. Look up some shows or documentaries on the military cemeteries, and just to feel that connection to the military member. Another thing that I think would be very nice, if you are out and about at the grocery store, being safe with your mask on and everything, and maybe you see someone who has a veteran's hat on, just social distancing, thank that person for their service. Let them know that you do appreciate what they've done. And even reaching out to current military people. If you know somebody who is in the military, that you might want to just send a message to, write a note to, reach out to them. There's some wonderful organizations that even send letters to military service members that are currently serving. And it means the world to those people to get mail. And, and it helps us to just give back a little bit too, and helps us to have something to do with all those emotions that we might be feeling. Because, Memorial Day is for remembering our American military members who have died, but it also just makes us really think about others that we have lost, that even are not necessarily military people. It's a day to remember, a day to honor. And I think as long as you're going with your heart, you never can do it wrong.
I don't think I could have summed it up any better. Suzy, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you everybody for tuning in again, and we will catch you next week.